Greetings. Today I'll be reseasoning my 12-inch cast iron skillet. So this is my 12-inch cast iron lodge, and it's musty, crusty, dusty, and rusty. And I'm going to be reseasoning it today. Now the first thing I'm going to do, since there is rust, is give it a vinegar bath. And I think I'm just going to do that in the sink here. Got some white distilled vinegar and... Okay, so it's mostly submerged, and then I'm going to leave that in the acid bath for an hour. I personally like using cast iron because it's naturally non-stick. The non-stick coating is achieved by heating an oil or a fat to a certain temperature and putting it in the oven for a certain amount of time. It's called its seasoning. One other thing you can do with cast iron that you probably can't do with other pans is like when I cook homemade pizza or steak, I'll start it on the stove top and then throw the entire pan in the oven to finish the rest of the way. I don't think you can do that with normal non-stick pans, but... Okay, so it's been an hour, so we're going to drain our vinegar, our acid. And then we're going to immediately dump some baking soda on there to neutralize the acid. Alright, so I'm going to scrub this with an SOS pad, whatever soap is on there. I'm going to resist the temptation to use dish soap because I feel like that might interfere with the bonding of the oil process later. So I'm just going to use this and some water and some elbow grease and scrub the hell out of this. So see how that goes. I also have this mesh thing I got from Amazon. This is pretty good for at least taking the big particles of food off when you're cleaning. You would never normally use an SOS pad on a iron skillet, but for reseasoning it's fine. It's going to try and strip as much of that away as you can for a new seasoning, a new finish. So the struggle continues to clean this pan. This seasoning does not want to come off. So I'm going to put some large coarse salt in there. Put a little water. Maybe make a little paste. And use another SOS pad. Ooh-wee, that was a lot of work. I don't even know if I'm still a lot of seasoning in there. Yeah, still some more seasoning. Gotta do some more scraping. Alright, so far I've used salt, my chain link scrubber, an SOS pad, some fine-grained sandpaper, and this is what I've got so far. And I didn't want to do this, but I think I'm going to have to up it with some stronger, more coarse sandpaper. So I've got this Gator coarse grain sandpaper, and I'm going to use that. All right, that's round one with the coarse sandpaper. Whew, this is a labor of love, folks. Whew, I'm about to get my third glass of wine. All right, that's round 2 with the coarse sandpaper. Whew. I know I didn't mention this earlier, but this is just a Lodge 2 USA 10 SK, whatever that means. It's not like my grandmother's heirloom or anything, it's just a Lodge. I never did like the seasoning on it, so that's round 3 of the sandblasting by hand. Okay, so that's 4 sandblastings by hand. I think that's good. Gonna rinse it off one more time and heat it on the stove for about 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna heat it on the stovetop now. Alright, that's after being heated on the stovetop for about 5 minutes, and it's got a little layer of rust on there, and that's okay because we're gonna get that off in the next step. Now you can use whatever oil or fat you want to coat this with and season it with, but a lot of people use canola or flaxseed, but today I'm going to use Crisco all vegetable shortening. Now I've got my oven going to about 500 degrees or the highest setting, and while that's going I'm going to just coat this in a nice light layer of shortening. And this is the part where you get off all the rust with the shortening. Alright, so I put a thin layer of Crisco shortening on there and wiped it off really good with a paper towel. Now I'm going to put it in upside down in the oven and line the oven with some aluminum foil. Just be careful not to cover any vents in the bottom of the oven. You really shouldn't need this because we wiped out our pan really good, but it's in the bottom of the oven just for drippings, just in case. Alright, so we're going to put it in the middle rack with a foil lined in there for about an hour. Hey Siri, set an alarm for 1 hour.
Your alarm is set for 6:37 p.m.
Okay, there's our alarm. Our pan is done seasoning for the first round. Alright, nice. That's after 1 round of seasoning at 500 degrees for an hour. I'm going to do that probably 2 more times. Okay, and that's after 3 coats of seasoning and it's fully dried. Wow. She's beautiful. I think I'll name her the Iron Maiden. Thanks for watching.